Welcome back to our Skype call segment where we've been discussing with our guest the economy of Nigeria, the budget for 2014, and we are going to go into social media and our question of the day. Joining us again is Hansen from Geneva, Ebi from Port Harcourt, Yemi C in London, Joe in Canada, and Yemi in Canada. Yemi, before we went on break, I was about to come to you about the Nigeria's economy. Now, at this point, we are hearing that Nigeria will take over from South Africa as the #1 economy in Africa. So when would that mean something to the market woman somewhere at Oshodi?
Rudolf, are you talking to me?
No, Yemi. This is for Yemi.
Which Yemi? Yemi Canada or
Yemi Canada? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I listened to what AB said earlier about the 6% growth in the Nigerian market. That is awesome, but if the growth on paper, like what Yemi said, is not the reality of what's on ground, it's very sad. If we have numbers on paper that's not reflecting the reality on ground, that means it's a fabricated number. And like what Yemi said, Anson, there's noise coming from you. Like what Yemi said, we all have people back home. My mother is back home. My father is back home. They're both retired. And they never said anything good. It's either there's no NEPA, hospital bills, there's no good roads, people died on accidents, there's bad roads, there's insecurity, they kidnapped this person. They did. So the reality, it's gone worse. There's no doubt about it. It's only if we are lying to ourselves, AB. I'm just being very practical here. If we are only being, we are being illusional. We're deceiving ourselves by saying things are getting better. If things are getting better, people will say it. You don't even have to ask questions. People would say it. Everybody will be saying, oh, these things is changing. We are seeing changes here. Lagos Ibadan Express Road, it's taking them 14 years before they get it done. And health system is crashing everywhere. People are dying, just like she said. Come on, just come on. I have a friend that died of typhoid. Typhoid, bad drinking water. You know, so it's so sad. This is the 21st century, for God's sake. And we're talking about no power, and people, and they are talking, hey, we're going to get it solved in 6 months now. We're going to have power in 6 months. They shouldn't even say it because it's an embarrassment to humanity at this age we are.
All right. Yemi, hold on there. Okay, let me go to Ebi. Ebi, let me give you the chance to respond. But also, I want you to address this. It's a concern of mine. So there was this report that $10.8 billion was not accounted for. I know that yesterday the NNPC gave a reason why the money was not accounted for, that they used it to pay for subsidy and stuff like that. Were you worried as someone who is in Nigeria and you're looking at the budget, okay? We have this budget, and out of that money, amounts like 10.8 was not, one, accounted for until there was a letter written. Secondly, that NNPC on their own made the decision on how to spend that money. It didn't even go through the parliament. It didn't go through any appropriation process. Were you worried, or are we, people who are outside the country, are we going crazy, you know, looking at these things?
Well, first of all, the question that I would ask for all those acolytes of Nigeria is getting horrible all of a sudden is, what was the situation before? Did we have these wonderful hospitals that have suddenly shut down? Did we have these beautiful smooth highways, roads, flyovers that suddenly became cratered, etc.? What I said, and you know, it's debatable, but what I said is that we are having a situation where my observation of the current direction of the government is that they are taking a serious look at a lot of the problems that have existed for a while. Let's take power. For 50 odd years, people like the power unions kept Nigerians, you know, in darkness. It wasn't as if there was this fantastic 24 hours light before now. We have a president who stared them down, broke it up, and has given every governor everybody has a right to participate in the power market. Ask yourself the question, what are the various governors doing? A few of them are trying, the rest of them are sitting down pointing fingers. Healthcare. Healthcare is something that we have a policy. It's one of the things that are very close to each of us. Of course, we have aging parents and so on and so forth. But healthcare, they have grades. Even there in the US, you have the government one, you have the private. They are different people.
Sorry to jump in. You are digressing the question.
Kindly,
about 10 million.
do not interrupt.
Let him finish.
Interrupt me when I'm speaking, Yemi. It's cuts.
Let him
it's
finish.
Cuts. It's commonplace and cuts. Now, I'm going to the 10 billion. You asked me something first, then you said the 10 billion. Isn't that, am I incorrect?
Yeah, no, you're right. I wanted you to answer to the comments they were making. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going one by one. So, I repeat that there is a change in direction that I've observed, at least to the extent that I am also here and I also have family all around me. It's not as if things are fantastic, but I ask the question, were they fantastic before? No. What I say is that I am seeing a change in a positive direction. And I didn't say it's happening now. Maybe in my field, because I'm an architect. You start from the planning. You have all the things fixed, and then you start putting a brick at a time. Before you have the house, it takes a little time, but you know where you're going. I see the direction. Now, about the 10.8 billion. First of all, there was a letter written that had a key number, 48 billion, I think it was. If I'm not mistaken.
49 billion.
Just 49 billion, almost 50 billion, which was actually more than the country's budget. So a key performance index or index for judging a person in the financial sector is your mastery of numbers. No matter what else you say, already there is a big question about the ability for the central bank governor to be trusted with numbers. So they sit down, they do a reconciliation, they put some numbers, it comes down to 10.8, that'll be 10.9 billion US dollars. And there is a concern about, hey, you say numbers don't go through the parliament. Well, to the best of my knowledge, even the CBN's numbers don't go to the parliament either. So it might be seen as selective outrage, or we can take the report from the NNPC and investigate it further. I just saw snippets of that news yesterday about the NNPC reporting how the thing was spent. There is room for investigating how true and so on. But one thing you will recognize that before this time, this country was said to use 59 million liters of petrol every day. As soon as the government said we're going to scrutinize it, it dropped precipitously by 20 million liters a day. So somehow, this government is putting eyes into the way things have been done before. I am not in government, but I observe a trend wherein a lot of the former holes that existed where people used to, quote unquote, chop, are being closed off. And that is what I'm seeing happening here. So I'm hearing a lot of complaints from people, but I believe it's a foundation in the right direction. That has not been the case prior to now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Rudolf, can I just make a quick comment?
Yeah? Okay, College Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, please, after him, I would like to say something, please.
Okay.
I understand what Ebi is talking about, but Ebi is making, I'll call it a huge mistake. There is a difference between economic development and sustainable development. Those two things our economy can be growing, but the sustainable development is not growing. So everyone can say, oh, the economy of Canada is growing, but we lost jobs this month, this whole December and now. But according to the economic analysis, that doesn't mean the economy is not growing.
All right.
So the common man is not benefiting. That's the point. Is not hitting. I don't like the way it's not hitting at that point. And I think he fall into. I don't know whether he fall into that elite class. It's problematic to me.
All right, Hans, hold on. I think Hansen wanted to say something before I come to you, Yemi.
Something I want to say is the same line with what Ebi just said. To be sincere, okay, because I know what happened during OBJ's government and the Iradua's government. To compare with this current government, Goodluck Jonathan government is trying. To be sincere, because his administration inherited a lot of mess from the government. That is number one. Nigerian as a nation was into chaos. Okay, nothing. In terms of economically, nothing were working when he came to the government. You got a point. And secondly, his regime has been lasted just 2 years and 8 months. He cannot do everything in 2 years and 8 months.
Okay, Hansen, let me stop you there. But because
I'm coming. I want to say something. I want to say something. To compare, you know, since he came to power 2 years and 8 months now, I've been to Nigeria, I've been to my state, Anambra State. You got a point, and I know what is going on there. There's a lot of changes. It's true that there's a lot of things to do. People are still suffering, of course. But at the same time, to be sincere, this man is really trying.
All right. Hansen, thank you so much. Yemi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say that there is a difference between a stagnant economy and one that is not developing and one that is developing. And if you're saying what we're talking about is this 6% growth that they're saying Nigeria has witnessed. If you're talking about growth, that must have been improvement on the past. And growth in this way, we were talking about it reflecting on the lives of people. It's not about, oh, we didn't have light before, so why do we expect that to be the 24-hour supply? If they are telling us there is growth, at least we shouldn't be talking about we should be talking about 6% increase in that sector to what was before and to what is operating now. So if you are saying, oh, we can't complain because we didn't have it all good before, then that is still bad because we are not even stagnant. We are retrogressing. We are not progressing in terms of healthcare, education, roads, development, and all that. So if you're talking about growth, it should be able to reflect in all those major things. How do you measure the decency of life expectancy, life access to healthcare, educational system? How is it growing?
All right. Let me see. I will stop you there.
Can you see any growth in the past 1 year?
Okay. Hold on, everyone. Hold on.
Infrastructure in terms of roads, okay.
Hansen,
this government is doing its best. I don't know when was the last time you traveled to Nigeria. Okay, you go home now and see what is going on. There are a lot of federal roads that are being done. A lot of state roads are being fixed up.
Okay. Got the point. Everybody, hold on.
Everybody
calm down. I want to hear from Yemi. Yemi. No. Yemi, don't. When I call you, you speak, please. Yemi, when I call your name, you speak. Otherwise, we have to cut you off. Okay. Now I want to hear from Yemi in Canada. Yemi.
Okay. Thank you. I understand the angle AB is coming from. He asked the question. He said, "Has it all been rosy in the Nigerian economy all this while?" The answer is no. And the question I would like to ask him again: which party has been in power since 1999 in the center? It's the PDP. Now. Anthony was talking about Obasanjo. Obasanjo did not left to me. He didn't do anything. Now, look, the problem I have with Nigeria and Nigerians is that we are highly intelligent people. And it's so sad that we now find ourselves in this big mess caused by who? Just a few percentage of people. So the question I want to ask AB is, in the last 14 years that we have democracy, 14 good years, shouldn't we have 24/7 power by now? Shouldn't we have an health care that should be competing with South Africa? Shouldn't we have good airlines that we won't fly and we say people are dying, Dana airline fall, this plane fall? Shouldn't we have good education system by now? Shouldn't we have jobs created by now? The answer is no. No, we should have all this.
Okay. Yemi, you have to stop. Let me go to, Ebi, go ahead and answer, please.
Okay. So, 14 years of transition from military to military, finally a civilian, short-lived, and finally this civilian. I repeat, what I'm looking at is the trend. Even if the trend had been negative, there is an uptrend. Examples for the common man. The common man used to leave Lagos before at 6 a.m. and reach Warri at 5 p.m. The common man leaves Lagos at 6 a.m. and reaches Warri at 12 noon now. that is a quantitative, qualitative, experiential change in the positive on the federal roads that connect those two towns. And that's repeated in so many other parts of the country. You talk about power. The people before, we are aware of billions of dollars and naira that were spent for power. This is the first time that the entire system, systemic, I'm talking about foundational change in the power sector. And we have witnessed it, whether from far or from near. It is on November 1st, 2013, that Nigeria's power system became modernized, like it or believe it or not. Before now, it was one thing that had no head. November 1st to what's today, January 8th, 10th, is not enough to change 24 hours, but give it 6-7 months. I believe we will see the change. I'm talking to you as somebody watching the trend on healthcare. I am aware of both governmental and private things that are done. Before, they would buy equipment and lock it up in hospitals. Now, they have equipment in some teaching hospitals that is being used for the human beings in Nigeria. It's a step-by-step process. 14 years is long, but 2 years, 8 months is what I'm measuring the current administration on, and that is what I'm standing on. The trend is upward. So we cannot come saying nothing is happening, nothing is happening. Until you come and see, speak, feel, and experience it, you will not know that something is happening. And something else about this common man. I believe we have an administration that's trying to make the common man less common, if you will, in quotes, and raise the... If you say nothing is happening, go and ask the farmers in the Southwest that exported $900 million of cocoa. Go and ask the farmers and the tribesmen that exported $648 million of hides and skins. Those people will not agree with you that nothing is happening. Go and ask the farmers who used to go and beg emirs and chiefs for fertilizer, and now with their phone, they get notified when there's fertilizer available and they can farm. Those people will not agree with you that nothing is happening. So maybe you can say nothing is happening among the white collar like me and you. And it's my responsibility as a white collar person to create employment and not create conflict and complaints. That's the difference. That is what our generation is supposed to do. Stop crying and do something. Stop being so whiny. We have got a country that's been wrecked forever. What are we going to sit down and do? Oh, this person did. What did the federal government? What of your local government? Do you know your local government chairman? Do you know governor's house? Or you don't want to know the person next to you because he might know the whites of your eyes? Get involved. Get to know the person who is in charge of your ward and demand that that drainage is cleared, that that garbage is carried away. It's not about pointing to one remote federal government. That is the way the country is right now. The federal government is the center, but our responsibility, our personal responsibility, is to make sure that we take care of things. All politics is local. So get connected to what's happening around you, and you will see the change you want.
All right, thank you, Ebi. Now, let's connect this to what we are doing now, which is having a discussion. And a few minutes ago, we spoke to people on social media, because despite what we said, despite what Ebi is saying, the social media will continue to be active, and people will continue to fight and say their own. But now, let's make that discussion now across the social media spectrum. What do you think, Colleague Joe, this is for you. With this incident that happened last week, I believe, or early this week, with Basket Mouth and the rape joke, where do you think social media, do you think is transforming to now hold accountable, not just people in authority, not just government officials, not just church leaders, but also other people who are influential within the society, to hold them accountable for what they say and what they do?
You mean, what do I think about
it? Do you think that is what is happening? Is that a trend? Is that where we're going? And is that a good thing?
It's a good thing to start. Let me start from there. But I'm not going to say social media will have anyone as a government that controls that particular media or host. Again, it's the fans that are holding these people accountable, you know. If you're a fan of someone and the person says something you don't like, you want to counter or tell the person not to. I don't know Twitter, so I don't know what's going on with the basketball, but I heard about his joke. He has said more things, more terrible things than that. So I don't know why Nigerians are shocked about the rape joke. I guess because he posted this one on Twitter, but he has had videos of him. He has said something like that before, and no one said anything about that. So the social media activism is changing our political scene, and that will continue. But you remember what Robert Abati said something? They are ready to fight that. So don't be surprised if one day they're going to just shut down the whole internet stuff in Nigeria come this 2015. Because they are observing that everyone have freedom to say anything they want. But they're going to curtail that freedom very soon. That's what's going to happen. That's what he's trying to say. Although he's in the opposition as a point of contact, like, oh, we're going to say that. But they're getting to the whole population.
All right, all right. We are really, I'm told that we are short of time. Let me come to EMC in London. So this social media thing, what is your experience there? And do you think that both the negative and the positive, that on the balance, that is something that is good for the country?
Yeah, I think the social media has really helped Nigerians to come out of their shells, to exchange ideas, and to touch on issues that before would have been taboo, or you would even have been arrested for speaking about it on the streets or organizing workshops or seminars in Nigeria on such issues. So social media has been very good, and in terms of mobilizing, organizing, and it's not just Nigeria; it's all over the world. We saw what happened with all the uprisings in Asia, in the East, and all that. So it has been good for revolutionary change. And talking about holding the basketball issue, that was really a good turn, a good point, because we had people who came out to attack him on his, and to hold him accountable for what he said about rape. Rape is never something to joke about. And yes, Basketmat has been saying this, not just him alone, other comedians too have been saying terrible things. I don't see anything that could even be worse than rape. Rape is as worse as it can get. It's in the category of the worst crime you can commit in the crimes of against humanity. So,
all right. I think your line is not very good, but we stop you there, and I go to Hansen. Hansen, so our question of the day today is really about the transfer of prisoners from London to Nigeria, and we know that Nigeria is getting about £1.something million for that, which is nothing compared to what it would cost British government to keep those people in London for another 2 or 3 years. Let me see. I'm asking the question for Hansen. We're rounding up, so I want Hansen to tell me this. Are you comfortable with Nigeria accepting prisoners from London, Nigerians who are prisoners in London, accepting them home to finish their terms at home?
Exactly. I'm comfortable with that. But the only thing that I'm not comfortable is Mr. Ibori coming home. Because you know that if he comes back to Nigeria, that is it. You know, they will free him. We know what happened to Alamesi and Co. So others, they can come home, but let James Ibori remain there for some time. Okay,
Yemi in Canada, what is your take?
Yeah, well, I don't. The British government has complained, and the complaint didn't start now. They've been complaining even before they arrested James Ibori, that their prison facility is overcrowded and they need to decongest it. There was even a proposal that they will come to Nigeria to build a prison yard for them to transfer all the Nigerian prisoners down to Nigeria. So left to me, I don't really care. They should, if they want to take him to Nigeria, let him take him. It's Nigerians' responsibility to make sure that he finishes his jail term. So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Okay. Ibi, in Nigeria, how is that playing over there in terms of the possibility that James Ibori might come back home?
I'll be honest, it's not number 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 on the day-to-day concerns. I hear the news simply because I'm connected, I'm aware, I try to be aware of these things. On a personal basis, these prisoner exchanges are done in many scenarios between many countries. The important thing is if he has committed a crime and he will come and finish out the sentence here, fine. If he'll remain there, fine. I'm glad that he got convicted for, you know, the crimes that he was accused of. It's a pity our judicial system allowed him to escape in the first place. So really the question is about our judicial system rather than whether or not he serves his time out here or there. On the social media thing, I think social media is great, but I think it will do with a whole lot of critical thinking behind it. I think sometimes many people just act as echoes to issues that they cannot substantiate, and they just say that they are influential on social media. It's important you have your information information before you put it out there as your tweet or your Facebook update. That's my thoughts on social media.
All right, thank you so much. We are going to, of course, address this issue in weeks to come. But let me come round to each of you and ask you what is keeping you up at night, because we are really out of time. I have 2 minutes. I will start with you, Yemisi in London.
Yeah, for me, the important thing is this bill, the gay bill in Nigeria, the same-sex marriage prohibition bill, and I'm hoping that the Nigerian president will not sign this into law, because we don't want the rights of people, the sexual minorities, victimized or criminalized in their home country and then turning people into refugees and asylum seekers. So we don't want more fundamental human rights violation against people who are vulnerable. So that's surely keeping me up at night, and I'm hoping that we don't go that way.
All right, thank you, Yemisi. College Joe.
Before I even say what's keeping me, just a quick one, I'll be very fast. Like, this prison stuff you're talking about, why can't the government sign with the Chinese government to send back prisoners in China? There are a lot of Nigerians in China. There are more than thousands of them in China. So those people should come back to Nigeria if they want to bring prisoners back. No prisoner wants to go back to a country where prisons here, they have gyms, they work out, they enjoy, they eat spaghetti, they're living fine. So they don't want to go back. What's keeping me up at night, again, I will say it again, 2014. Every day I wake up, it's like as if it's another movie. So it's just keeping me up. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow you wake up again, you see something on Sahara. All those things that keep me up at night, 2014.
All right, thank you. Yemi in Canada.
Yeah, well, contrary to what AB said earlier on, that we that are abroad, we are just here, we are not
never said that.
No, let me talk. That we're not making an impact. We don't know our local government chairman, that we should come home.
I never said that.
Let me finish.
Don't interrupt. Don't misquote me.
Before I left Nigeria, I started a company. Unfortunately, no power. The staff I had, they embezzled my money because everybody always thinks is my own. Eventually, I closed the company down. I came over here, and I'm planning to go back. I want to go back and make a difference. That's what's keeping me up at night. I have a business plan. I want to go back, try and make my own difference. That's what's keeping up at night. I just hope the government will get it right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ebi.
What keeps me up at night is the fact that people do not appear to want to take the time, make the effort, hit Google, and get more information to get rounded views. I think too many of us are echoing what we think other people want to hear. I think what keeps me up at night is our unwillingness, our inability to understand where we are coming from so that we can start to see where we are going.
All right, thank you so much. Hansen, did I ask you? No? Hansen?
Not yet.
Yeah, what's keeping you up at night? Sorry.
Let me borrow. In fact, I'm sleeping well anyway, but the problem that I'm having is just 2015, because it's really it's getting tough. And moreover, the way the criminals moving from PDP to APC, it's really a big problem. So I'm thinking how these things, how 2015 will be.
Okay.
If there will be election, and if the election will be free and fair.
Yeah.
And who will be the next president?
All right. Thank you so much. We have
Rudolf,
next week. Okay. Who is?
Rudolf,
yeah.
Somebody said it's AB. Somebody said that the risk that's happening right now is that PDP will be a minority, APC will be a minority in APC very soon, with the sheer number of PDP people coming there. Good night.
Okay. Thank you so much. In weeks to come, we continue to have this discussion, and hopefully we'll figure out who will be the president before that time. I want to thank Hansen in Geneva, Ebi in Port Harcourt, Yemisi in London, College in Canada, and Yemi in Canada for joining us. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Rudolf.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's a privilege.
So we have come to the end of our program today. We want to thank all our guests and people who've been watching, and on behalf of all the team, the people we have here behind the scene, I thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Dr. Damages and Keeping It Real. And of course, we'll be back next week, the same time, the same station, so stay tuned. Thank you.